Yo boys, back with another video. Today we're going to be doing Outlaw Rogue. I haven't played Outlaw Rogue in a minute because I haven't really done any real games in my Rogue. But I love playing Outlaw Rogue. It's very fun. I actually for the first two games didn't even have the right conduits on. I switched them and I legit just done Unhealable Dam. So this is the third game that we played. I played two on the with the H file, and this unfortunately these guys have no gear, or it's a booster obviously, or he's playing with a friend. But I actually end up pre-evasioning. My guy does a really insane rake, and then I know he's gonna double stun once we're stacked. So as you can see, he trinkets. I'm instantly gonna evasion as soon as he uses his bone dust brew. So when that splashes on the ground, it means he's gonna pop it off, and he ends up getting taken out because the Windwalker doesn't disarm me. He doesn't really do anything. So really unfortunate for them. But and then the healer was like running out of rock. It was just like a really confusing game. I don't know if they knew what was going on, but it was very unfortunate. So yeah, we end up getting an easy dub. I don't know what they were doing in the beginning, but yeah, if he gets evasion on his stun, it's really bad because he has to wait an entire minute more before he can actually do anything. So here, as soon as he pet sacks, if he pet sacks before I can, what we're gonna do is we're not even gonna click anything. So as you can see, he's gonna do that. So what we're gonna instantly do is we're gonna actually swap. So we end up blind swapping, and now we outplay them by not running into pet sack, and we get double trinket from that. So anytime they do a defensive before you even click anything, just swap to the other target. Trust me, it's a lot better. You're getting that cooldown for free, and as you can see, we're getting pet tech and double trinket on and wings for nothing. Really, it was on our burst, but our burst is kind of irrelevant because we're getting our burst every minute. So we're just consistently clicking burst, and we're just doing damage. It's like Assassination 1 minute Vendetta. You're always going to be doing damage. I'm keeping up my slice and dice when I can. It's not really that big of a deal. It's really nice to have it up, but like you don't have to I mean, for me, I try to have it up all the time at like a 5 stack plus, so I don't have to worry about it, and that's what I would suggest for you. But honestly, you're basically just kinning off DR, get them full kinnies. I'm basically trying to go for them good rules. Almost every single time it's up, I'm going for a rule so I can get a 5 stack rule, any type of rule. Because not only is it fun trying to RNG a good rule, but it's something else to click. And I'd say Outlaw is super fun. I'm always keeping my Blade Fury up because what that does is doing unhealable damage to everybody. And as you can see, I'm just doing double this guy's damage. There's not much you can do. And basically every kidney with Blade Fury is really insane damage. So as you can see, I'm Blade Furying whenever I can. Usually off. Usually as soon as it's all back off me, I'm going to click it in. I'm always going to have that button up unless I'm CCing. Now if you're CCing, you don't want to have it up because it'll break it. So having a cancel macro for it is really good. Obviously, I have like rarely. I mean, I have a few keybinds, but I didn't really care that much. He ends up bopping here, so this would be a time to swap, but I didn't really feel like it. And he also I was gonna swap right there, as you can see, but he cloned him. What should have happened there is he should have cloned the H PAL on Bop, because clone goes through Bop. So if he would have cloned him on the Bop, it would have been instantaneously an insane play, because it would have stopped his entire Bop. He wouldn't have got any heals, but anyway, it doesn't really matter because we're still pumping him. We're gonna blind him so he can't run away, and then we're gonna hit him with a cheap shot. He actually ends up trinketing the blind last second, and then he gets hit with the cheap shot, a DR cheap shot. So had he just waited until I cheap shot him and then trinketed, he might have lived, but it was kind of GG. It was overkill at this point. My guy had Ironbark, and it was a pretty chill game. Next game here, we are actually in the game. This is a decently long length game. The one mistake this rogue had was going on my druid, so I guess he just for some reason swapped off because they were doing really good. Like he almost had me dead a few times, but he just randomly swapped to the druid. And when an outlaw, okay, everyone should know this. All rogues should know this. You only go druid whenever you can kill him, and then after that, you're basically not going to be on him. You're not going to be able to catch a druid. It's a druid. If druids want to just kite you, they're going to do it. Obviously, they had the most kiting out of any class, any spec. There's nothing I can even compare, especially with this when it can get out of roots instantly. It's just a class that you can't chase after. You just have to stun and then move on and then stun. So basically, you want to be swapping in between if that's what the case. At this point, if it's a druid, you just want to go their DPS. I would never go their healer unless obviously you're like, you know what I mean. Like if you can get them out of form. But really, I just go the opposite person. Druids are just the most broken, especially a good druid that can pre-bear form goes, because you're not going to kill. So as you can see, we're doing the same thing as we did the first game and the second game. We're just keeping up our slice and dice. We're rolling every time it's up, and we're just kinning off DR. And we're keeping our shots at a max combo point. So as you can see, he actually ends up fake casting me, I think. No, he actually doesn't. Really good blind by him, except he already got the heal. So what he should have done is save that blind for my next kidney. So instead of blinding there, now he can't do anything to peel me but disarm, and he's kind of tunnel focused on my guy, so now he trinkets. Had he stayed blind until after I stun, then he wouldn't have had to trinket. And they really lose because the rogue gets too tunnel focused on the druid, and now the shaman has no trinket. So had he stayed that blind, it might have been different, but at the same time, I actually ended up cloaking because I knew he was going to try to pre-root me, and I did not want to get rooted, which that was a really bad play, but I knew he was dead, as it's way overkill. I had Vanish cheap shot. It's pretty much just GG. There's nothing they can do. As you can see, the rogue's like tunnel focus. You're not going to catch a druid. If a druid doesn't want you to catch them, they're just going to root you, cyclone you, and do everything in their power just to not get hit. Here's another game that, this was a really close game, actually. So there's one thing that my guy does really bad here, but we end up winning anyway. So what happens is drinking is good, right? Like especially when you're but when you're one thing off of winning, you gotta go for it. That's a game changer. So we had like a drink moment to when he was at like 20%. We had a full sap, and all my guy needed to really do was cyclone. Now I might have had kidney, so I might have been able to kidney the druid. We'll see if I have it or not. I might have just been not thinking at the time because obviously I haven't played Outlaw in a minute, so I'm not used to. Oh, he actually almost gets a hybrid in there. He ends up getting a juicy Cyclone right there by the old fresh Druid. The Druids that know how to use sleep can really outplay somebody. It's a really insane cooldown versus Druids because it's a lot of CC. It's a full sleep into a entire Cyclone, and it's just really good. If you know how to use sleep, it's really powerful. But we're just basically keeping up our damage, keeping up the Cyp Nice, and that's basically it. There's not much to Outlaw Rogue. You're basically just PvEing, and that's what I love about this deck. I'm also playing the Sinister Legendary to where there's a 40% chance to make your shots fire 3 times, something like that. I'm running that Legendary. It's a really good Legendary. I honestly, Outlaws is really fun. It's like you're playing Fury Warrior, except you actually have, you get burst every, like, minute, and you're just sitting there pumping. So as you can see, we're just pumping him down, and that's all we have to do the entire game. We're just training the target. And as you can see, I really never go Druid, because the reason I don't go Druid is obviously if a Druid doesn't want to die, they're not going to die. It's just how it is. So here's the thing that I'm talking about. So I blind him. So I can't blind him now. And the reason we would have won a long time ago, but my guy actually DR'd Cycloned, so I ended up blinding here. Now this is where we should have won. So I end up going for the sap, which is really insane. So insane sap. So my guy needs to be going for the cyclone instantly, or rake, anything like that, and we win. So or I could kidney here. So I end up trinketing, and then I get stunned into it, which was unfortunate, really close. But yeah, I also could have kidneyed. I really wanted to kidney the hunter because obviously, as you can see, he kited me like like a muffo. So well, either way, I think we still end up winning. And there's another situation where we almost screw up again, where it would have been really bad. I'm surprised they didn't win because we messed up a lot, especially this game, me and him. So I definitely could have kidneyed the druid there, even though I really wanted to kidney the hunter. So here's another situation where we need to do all CCing we can right now. See, drinking's good, but when the game's over, the game's over. We're at such a height, so if he cyclones that off that cheap shot, what happens is he's gonna trinket into a cyclone. It was a little bit late, but we still get in the dub. But yeah, if you're at too high of a dampener, the drinks won't even matter at that point, especially when the guy's at 30%. So don't even go for the drink. You got to go in for all. Especially when they have no turtle, they have no iron bark, they have nada, nothing. Especially when the other guy is almost full mana. It's like it's either you win there or we lose. So here we end up getting a really good sap. So usually I don't just instantly open on the mage. Even if I'm 1v1ing, I'll give it a few seconds. Because in this situation, you never know when you can sap the rogue. And sapping the rogue is really good. I was gonna go mage the entire go until I realized I got the rogue out. Now going rogues is outlaw rogue doing 1v1s versus a rogue or sub rogue is really difficult because you're not marked for death. I run marked for death versus some WDPS. I think it's really good because it's like the cheap shot goes, it's really bad. As you can see, we get a really good sap here, and then we're gonna blind the mage, and then we're gonna open here. So we blind the mage. If we sap the mage, then it breaks, and he can prevent, or he can just re-stealth. We end up getting trinket, and then we end up getting the mage's trinket for my blind into a cyclone. So really good here, not bad at all. I pre-evasion, so now he can't stun me. He ends up DR stunning me, and now they can't really do anything to me. So I'm waiting for the evasion in. As soon as that evasion ends, I'm gonna kin him. So we kin him, we cloak, and then we're gonna vanish. And if he DBs, we can just trinket. Because at this point he's dead. So I vanish, and I could not trinket this, or I could hold. But I knew he was dead. I knew it was over. And GG's those guys. So this was the first game or second game. I think it was pretty sure the second game right here that wasn't even running the right conduits, and that's why my damage is not as good. And then I realized the second game or the third game I was like, wait a second, am I playing? I was like just recalling something in my head that I remember the last time I played I was just doing unhealable dam, and all of a sudden I was just like doing tiny dam. So here I pre-vanish his blind, so it's really good by us. And then he ends up sapping, so we're not gonna open. So I see the sap right now. My guy says sap, like I can't see. That's funny. So I end up sitting in stealth. Now, had I opened there, he would have been full sapped, and I would have been, in stun, and they would have got my trinket. And I have no cooldown, so I tell him to get the eyeball. Now, anytime somebody gets the eyeball, just know that somebody's going to be on the pillar. So that's why I go to the pillar and use my sat macro. Because usually they're going to be on one of these pillars just lining. So you never know if you can have a chance. He ends up opening here. Now, I could just sit in stealth, but I'm not. I'm just going to open because I'd be like that. I end up using my Blade Fury. Now, if they're not bursting me, I'm not going to click anything. He gets a really good Hodge. See, a lot of rogues would have tricketed there, and they would have ended up dying the next stun. But thankfully, I held. I and thankfully I didn't trinket. So usually a lot of people would just trinket while they're bursting. They're like, oh, I gotta kill him, I gotta kill him. But we end up getting a dub. It was really overkill. We had evasion, trinket, disarm, bubble, wings. We just had everything. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more Outlaw Rogue videos, let me know. I am actually ready for Dragonflight. This has been a terrible season. I had to say it again, a terrible season. I think we all agree on that. But let's have hopes for Dragon Flute. But I will see you guys in the next video. Peace, peace.